Audio check, 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 check. Using an external microphone clipped to my lapel. One of the tools that a lot of field researchers like to utilize is a trail camera. Trail cameras come in many shapes, sizes, specifications, but from actual use, I can tell you about a couple of features and a couple of tips and tricks that you may want to consider. First thing is battery life. Now you need to really think about how long your trail camera is going to be out before you go back and attend to it. If you're looking at a situation where you've got, let's say, a 2 or 3 hour drive to the location where you're actually doing your research, you may not want a trail camera that only lasts a week or maybe 2 on a set of batteries. You want to get the most bang for your buck. So when you're looking at a trail camera, you want to consider battery life. There are a couple trail cameras that have been rated as having a very good battery life. The Bushnell Trophy Cam. You've got the Moultrie I-40 and I-60 series, which have a very good rating for battery life. And there are a couple other. But in general, I mean, if you're looking at a camera that can have that type of battery life and be out in the field for an extended period of time, then you may want to look at one that has the option to hook up an external power source. Maybe have an external power jack on the bottom of the camera, or have the ability to hook up a solar panel to an external battery in order to run the unit. There have been cases where people have put out a trail camera and they've lasted well over a year. Now, mind you, they still have to go out and maintain it by replacing the memory card in it, but it is possible. So if you're looking at a situation where you've got a very unique location, you want to put a camera or two in the area, and you know that it might take you a bit of time before you get back, consider your battery life. The second thing you want to consider is the way that the camera operates in conjunction with the environment. If you've got a camera that is going to be exposed to the elements, I mean, you've got it out on a tree and there's no brush or cover around it, it's kind of out in the open, then the possibility of the elements getting into the camera are far greater than a camera that's been kind of covered and camouflaged. And what I mean by elements, the one primary consideration is water. Most cameras are very water resistant. They've got these rubber gasket seals that seal out, or at least try to seal out, most of the elements. But there are a couple things that you can consider to help prevent the moisture from getting into the circuitry and causing havoc. The first thing that you would do is the little magical package of silica. You always see these things. They're in shoe boxes, they're in the little bag that binoculars come in. Anything that's sensitive, you usually see a little bag of desiccant or silica gel. And the whole purpose behind this is to actually wick away moisture. And what that means is that moisture that is contained within the area of the camera is going to be contracted into this package here and stay away from the circuitry in the camera. So that's one thing to consider. And if you can get a package that is small enough or it's convenient enough, you can fit it in when you close the camera so that the camera has a better chance of withstanding some of the harsher environments. Here's one other consideration as well. Some of the Moultrie cameras and some other cameras have a very hard time, or some of the users have a very hard time with the SD card access. Now we notice with this camera, this is a Wild Game Innovations IR4 infrared camera. The SD memory card is in the front and you just push in, pull out, as we see here. It's very simple, very easy to do. Some of the cameras have a very limited card access, which means you really got to get your fingers in there, and it's very hard to work with the SD memory card. The simplest fix around that is to take a small piece of tape and put it on the end of the memory card to act as a tag to pull out the memory card. Here's one other consideration. In a couple of recent expeditions when we put out our cameras, we found that it was raining quite heavily, and so the lens cover of the infrared and the actual camera lens itself was covered with a little bit of rain, a little bit of water, and that obviously would distort pictures. One of the ways to get around that, to make sure you've got the clearest possible picture, is to use this following trick. This product here, RainX, followed by an application to the front lenses of your trail camera with a Q-tip, will allow you to set up your trail camera so that when any water seeps on the lens, it immediately gets dispersed. So that's something to consider if you're in an area where you get a lot of rain. If you don't have a rain cover or a rain shield for your camera, that's something that you'll want to do. That will make sure that your lens is clean and free of dirt and water and get the best possible picture. There is one other tip that I'd like to share with you folks, is the lights on the front. A lot of cameras have these LED lights which indicate the actual function of the camera, and in some cases they actually show through the case. And a lot of them are actually to let you know where your detection range or detection area is, and really all it's doing in operational mode is alerting people that, hey, I'm here, you know, come look at me. And you know, it's sad to say it, but trail cameras do go missing. They do get stolen, and part of the reason why is because of these LED lights which show themselves off during its operation. So in this case here, I've got the wild game camera, and there are LED lights that are constantly on and off as it detects and as it starts recording. So what I've done is, I don't need to see those LED lights outside of the camera. I've placed a piece of electrical tape over them, and so when the lights are on, they're not visible outside of the camera, and so it doesn't draw as much attention. And finally, batteries. Batteries are probably the most important thing to use in a trail camera in the sense of quality. There are trail camera manufacturers who will say that a trail camera might last 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 months on a set of batteries. But consider this: if you go out to the dollar store, buy a set of batteries, and even if they are alkaline, you have to consider the quality. The environment that these cameras are placed in. You're looking at dampness, you're looking at extreme heat, you're looking at extreme cold, and the specifications that a manufacturer provides are within favorable conditions using a quality product. If you want to get the best life out of your camera, use a quality product. You spent a lot of money, a lot of time, you invested a lot of money in a good trail camera, invest the money into good batteries. The Energizers, Duracells, that sort of thing will give you the best bang for your buck.